guys, we have a breaking news coming out. The Russian leader, Putin, said over 700,000 soldiers at the front in Ukraine. 700,000. That is a big number. That is a big number. And I remember Kiev Independent, they put out the information, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. They said that they mentioned that number, 700,000. So they put out the information and warned the European and other countries that there's approximately 700,000 of those soldiers out there. And so that was 2 weeks ago. Today, it seems like Vladimir announced it. So give me a second here. At the same time, the U.S. commander states that Vladimir has really let him down in regards to negotiations to end the ongoing of the bear invasion of Ukraine. So Donald is not pleased. The U.S. commander is not pleased. The U.S. commander see all this military movement, 700,000 soldiers, all these drones are entering Poland, and I do believe Romania. They just found a drone in, I think, Latvia beach. All right, so they keep finding some of these drones out there in other of the NATO nations out there, Latvia and Poland and Romania. So we're gonna see what's going on with these news here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Another way to support the channel is through Patreon. $5 a month, Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We go live. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on this platform. That's another way to support the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Your support is what keeps us on air. Another way to support the channel is by giving that thumbs up. So thank you again for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's see what's going on here, guys. So a well-prepared meeting on Ukraine for which the bear leader Vladimir said he was ready means receiving a response to the approaches discussed in Anchorage. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei said today, September 18, in an interview with the First Channel. The president said he is ready for the meeting, but that it must be well prepared. We must get a reaction to the proposal we have promoted and the approaches discussed in Anchorage, Lavrov said. Now, furthermore, Lavrov attacked the Europe-Atlantic Alliance, which is NATO, pointing out that in the war in Ukraine, they have failed in their principles. The Euro-Atlantic logic has run out of steam, the diplomats pointed out, going on to say that the war in Ukraine, organized by the West against us, and Ukraine's war against us, only underlines that the Euro-Atlantic concepts have not fulfilled the promises made at the time of their creation. I think this is the same person. Lavrov came out today and told the U.S. commander, our president, that slapping tariffs on India and China is not going to affect us when it comes to the biblical war. So he's telling Donald, you could do whatever you want. You could slap all the stuff you want, the tariff, whatever. It's not going to stop us. It's not going to stop us when it comes to these biblical wars. You're not going to stop us. So they sent that message to Donald today. And it's true. And the reason why I'm saying it's true, because even Joe, the former leader, he slapped how many sanctions? I mean, we're talking about crazy amounts of sanctions on the bear, all right? And it didn't work. Actually, it made the bear stronger. It made the bear a lot stronger. The bear backed their currency with gold. They have bricks. Again, they're just well prepared. And again, like I say, these sanctions is not going to stop them. So the Bear foreign minister claims that Moscow is ready to seek what he calls compromises to end the war in Ukraine, but on condition that he says would be the Bear legitimate security interest and what he calls the legitimate interest of the Bear speakers in Ukraine are guaranteed, TASS reports. Now, TASS is a Russian news organization. All right, so it says here the U.S. Commander Administration position includes understanding the problems related to NATO, and they have stated this publicly. There is also an understanding that the referenda held in Crimea and other territory cannot be ignored, Lavrov said. Now, the Bear, whose troops invaded Ukraine in 2022, claims to have annexed. Give me a second here, guys. Advertisement alert. Advertisement alert. Okay, so it took me to the very beginning. There's also an understanding that the referenda held in Crimea and other territory cannot be ignored, Lavrov said. The Bear, whose troops invaded Ukraine in 2022, claims to have annexed the four Ukrainian regions of Donetsk, Lugansk, and Kherson and Zaporizhia, which its soldiers only partially occupy, in so-called referendums that were not recognized by the vast majority of the international community and which are believed to have been held without the slightest respect for democratic standards. Moscow also de facto took control of Crimea in 2014 by force in a controversial referendum in violation of international law. Now, Putin said over 700,000 soldiers at the front in Ukraine. The Bear leader, Vladimir, declared that there are over 700,000 of the military personnel deployed on the front line in Ukraine, invaded by the Kremlin troops, and this was reported by AFP. Now, in the meantime, from the UK, the US commander at a press conference with UK Prime Minister Starmer admits, I have ended 7 wars. But Vladimir has really let me down. The US commander added that he thought that the war in Ukraine was the easiest to solve. Come on, Donald. Come on. The world knows this is the toughest war out there. All right, look, I'm not trying to bash the Donald, but sometimes Donald think like he's this high almighty person that can end everything, and that's it. Again, not everyone is going to bow down to you, Donald. Not everyone is going to agree with you. All right, this biblical war, this is the biggest of all of the biblical wars out there. Actually, you didn't even stop the Holy Land biblical war. The Holy Land is still dropping the hammer on Gaza. You didn't stop that biblical war, which is a lot worse because there's famines going on in the Strip. Now that is more worse. I wouldn't focus on Vladimir. I'd be more concerned about Ben, what's going on out there. So once again, he thought that this would be the easiest to solve, given his relationship with Vladimir. And he thought wrong. Here's the thing, guys. Vladimir has been in politics for a very long time. Donald has been in, for like less than 10 years. Donald, he just started, gaining experience and stuff like that. But Vladimir has been around for many years. Donald is new to the game of chess. All right, so Donald said, while also evoking hope for some good news in the coming days, the British Prime Minister, for his part, insisted on calling for more pressure on Vladimir and recalling that the Bear leader has only made some concessions when the U.S. commander pressed him, words to which the American leader responded by stating that he still wanted to avoid the risk of a third world war. So Donald is not pleased. He's not happy. He's not happy with the situation, guys. So give me a second here. Hmm. Um, I'm just looking for more information. So we do have this news here. So the tail section of a decoy of the Bear one-way strike drone washed ashore today in Lithuania, believed to have likely been one of the drones used during recent incursions into Poland and the Baltic state. Excuse me, guys. Hmm. So you do have some very important news coming out right now, guys. You have Starmer and the U.S. commander earlier, alongside once again the U.S. commander, said in recent days Vladimir has shown his true face, mounting the biggest strike since the operation began, with yet more of the shed, yet more innocents out. An unprecedented violation of NATO airspace. These are not the action of someone who wants peace. Say that to Ben when it comes to the strip. Say that to Ben when leading those towards the famines. All right, give me 1 second here, guys. I'm trying to see if there's any more information here. So once again, very, very, very important breaking news updates that's coming out when it comes to nation against nation. Once again, the U.S. commander said Ukraine war could spiral into world war. Boom! 3. All right, so Vladimir has let me down. So Donald basically saying that's it. I gave up. Now he's going to see my wrath. And here's the thing, guys. If we go to this biblical war, which I believe we will get involved, this will be the biggest one. This will be the one, the WWE3. I do believe so. And again, I can understand people's like, we've been in WWE3, but I'm talking about the real WWE3, meaning that Sleeping Giant territory could get hit. All right? When was the last time we got hit? Again, beside Pearl Harbor, that was a whole different ball game. But I'm talking about this land right here, the North America. When was the last time we seen something? Never. Well, again, in the early 1700, that's a whole different ball game. All right, so Vladimir has let me down. I mean, he's taking many, many, many people. Donald, you do realize Ben is also doing the same thing too. And he's losing more than he's, you know what? Frankly, the Bear soldiers are being taken out at a higher rate than the Ukrainian soldiers. Oh, come on, Donald. Please don't tell me you believe that, man. Okay, so Donald believes that Ukraine took out over 1 million of the Bear soldiers. 1 million. Meanwhile, Ukraine only lost 50,000 soldiers in this 3.5 years of biblical war. Do you believe the Bear lost 1 million soldiers and Ukraine lost 50,000 soldiers? Guys, do you know the numbers? I mean, how ridiculous that sound? 50,000 for Ukraine, 1 million for the Bear. If that was the case, how come the Bear is winning this biblical war? It just doesn't make any sense here. It says, but yes, he has let me down. I don't like to see it. It's death, you know. It doesn't affect the sleeping giant. It does affect the sleeping giant. It does affect the sleeping giant. Here's the reason why, guys. Ever since Joe slapped those sanctions on the bear, things started going up. Inflation, prices, and stuff like that. These sanctions has consequences. All right, it's not affecting the bear alone. It's affecting the world. It doesn't affect the sleeping giant. Yes, it does. Other than the risk of ending up in a WWE3 over this. Now, this is something that would have never happened had I been the leader. Once again, that is a commander. I feel like Donald is being given some crazy wrong stuff here. I mean, those numbers is coming out from, again, Ukrainians sources. But again, I don't believe a lot of stuff that comes out from that land. It just absolutely ridiculous. So Ukrainian lost 50,000 soldiers. The bear lost 1 million. That makes Zelensky a better warrior than King David. That is, man. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't buy into that. A lot of people might believe that number, but it's like saying Joe received 82 million VOTES in the year 2020. Come on, guys. Wake up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Again, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.